Hi, I'm Danny and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we are celebrating women's football with 10 players who have been stars of the 2019 World Cup. Sam Kerr. Let's start with one of the most well-known names in the world of women's football, Sam Kerr. The 25-year-old is one of Australia's most celebrated sports stars with her success in the beautiful game, earning her the title of Young Australian of the Year in 2018. Splitting time between her homeland and the US, Kerr plays for both the Chicago Red Stars in the Women's Soccer League and Perth Glory in the W League in Oz. All-time leading scorer in both divisions, the backflipping forward came fifth in the first edition of the female Ballon d'Or in 2018. Australia crashed out of the World Cup on penalties in the round of 16 against the Hegerberg Norway, but it didn't stop Kerr showing her class. With 52 goals and 58 league appearances since 2017, it's unsurprising that she leads the Australian attack, taking 18 shots over the tournament, with only one of them blocked by opponents. Kerr also leads the way in helping her teammates, setting up the most shots in the team, making the most passes inside the box, and her pressing is only bettered by central defenders Chloe Logarzo and Temeka Butt. Following their defeat in Nice, Kerr led an impromptu speech at the team hotel where she encouraged the Matildas that the loss was not the end and they would push to come back stronger. Georgia Stanway. Arguably, the 2019 World Cup has made women's football the most visible it's ever been, with the players dominating back pages of newspapers and their faces representing every big brand. Manchester City midfielder and the youngest outfield player in the England squad, Georgia Stanway, is yet another individual helping to raise the game's profile. Like many of the professionals, Stanway began playing football as a youngster, but at 11, she was banned from playing in a boys' team. Stanway is a role model for a young generation of female football players. At just 20, she has earned a place in Phil Neville's Lionesses squad and gone from looking up to the USA's Alex Morgan to playing against her in the semi-final. Ahead of Glastonbury Music Festival in England, Stanway tweeted the official Twitter account to ask whether they would be able to show the game, so her brother wouldn't miss the match. Glastonbury got in touch saying they would, of course, be showing the England-Norway game. And before we move on to the next player, if you're enjoying this video, do remember to like and subscribe to the channel for more great content. Caroline Graham Hansen. Norway were dealt a heavy blow when Ballon d'Or winner Ada Hegerberg boycotted the tournament due to inequalities between the treatment of the women's international team and the men's. However, Caroline Graham Hansen stepped up to the plate in her former teammate's absence. In the last 16, the number 10 was named the player of the match for the second time in 4 games to help carry her nation into the quarters. One American journalist described her as a rock star following the brilliant performance against Australia, where 11 of Norway's 16 shots came from the winger, with 5 of them on target. In 2014, she joined Wolfsburg, who have been a dominant force in the Bundesliga over the past decade, where she has won 3 league titles and reached 2 Champions League finals, scoring 51 goals and 133 appearances on the way. Still only 24, Graham Hansen has signed a new 2-year deal with Barcelona for next season, becoming the first Norwegian to sign for the Catalan Giants. So expect the playmaker to continue making headlines next term. Alex Morgan. Team USA went into the 2019 World Cup as holders and favourites, with the women's soccer team way ahead of the men's in international success. Alex Morgan has been a key part of their victories since being the youngest player in the American team in 2011's version of the tournament, where the States won silver. At the 2012 Olympics, she scored the match-winning goal in the semi-final against Canada to join Mia Hamm as the only American woman to score 20 goals and collect 20 assists in a calendar year. Now 29, Morgan works with Rapinoe and Lloyd as captains of the USNWT, and is still a force not to be messed with. In their opening group game, the Americans broke records and made headlines with a 13-0 win over Thailand, the highest margin of victory in World Cup history. Morgan contributed a huge 5 goals in the match to put her in the race for the Golden Boot, as well as registering 3 assists. Alongside her sparkling soccer career, Morgan has written a children's book, been the cover star of Sports Illustrated 3 times, and earned a degree in political economics from Berkeley University. Her goal in the semi-final pushed the US over the last hurdle, and Morgan leads Jill Ellis's side, who look unbeatable going into the final against the Netherlands. Megan Rapinoe. Coming up naturally alongside Alex Morgan is her USA co-captain Megan Rapinoe, who has been making waves on and off the pitch. On the pitch, the Seattle Reign winger scored the match winner to book the USA a ticket to the semi-final against England, netted twice against the hosts in Paris, and bagged a brace versus Spain to become the first ever player to score twice in consecutive World Cup knockout games. Off the pitch, Rapinoe has been getting involved in politics, raising issues with discrimination as an advocate for many different LGBT organisations since coming out as gay in 2012. The 33-year-old boldly stated that she would not accept an invitation to the White House should they win the tournament as a stand against Donald Trump's presidency. Describing herself as a walking protest, Rapinoe has expressed her delight to have a starring role in the competition during Pride Month. An excellent role model, Rapinoe has used her performances on the field to give her a platform for important issues. A hugely important and bold voice of protest, Rapinoe is one of a kind in football right now. Lucy Bronze. Lionesses boss Phil Neville has said that Lucy Bronze is the best player in the world. There is no other player like her. Bronze, who usually plays as a right back, has won the Women's Super League 3 times and an FA Cup with her former clubs Liverpool and Manchester City. After joining Lyon in 2017, she has helped them pick up 2 Champions League trophies, 2 French League titles and a French Cup. And she has been able to shine on the international stage as well, with her magnificent goal in the quarter-final against Norway, giving the Lionesses a place in the Final Four. Bronze started playing football at her local boys' club at 10 years old, but a year into polishing her skills and Bronze was banned from playing by the FA. Now 27 years old with 75 international caps, Bronze is calling for us to push on the women's game as she hopes to leave a legacy for younger girls interested in the sport and encourage them to play. The Lionesses will have to wait until the 2021 Euros to win their first major trophy after they were knocked out of the semis by Alex Morgan and company. But after their match versus the US gained a record-breaking 11.7 million views in the UK, the most of any TV programme in 2019, it's clear that Bronze is playing her part in the development of women's football. Stina Blackstenius. The 2018 Men's World Cup shocked everyone when Germany failed to make it out of the group. Fast forward a year, and the Germans have been dealt another blow to their international dominance. This time in the quarter-finals against Sweden, who knocked them out of the tournament with a victory that was 24 years in the making. The Swedes upset the second-ranked team in the world in Rennes to set up a semi-final versus the Dutch. After Germany went 1-0 up within 16 minutes, the chances looked slim for Sweden as no one had come back from a goal down at this stage since 1999. The winner came from Montpellier striker Stina Blackstenius. The breakout star of the 2016 Euros, Blackstenius had ended her 2019 goal drought in the previous round and proved her star quality at the most important time. At 21 years old, only Ada Hegerberg and Marie-Antoinette Katoto topple her scoring pedigree in League One. Blackstenius is used to performing on the biggest stage. She led Montpellier's charge for Champions League football this season and now taken her home nation to the twilight of a World Cup. Sweden headed into their maiden semi-final, a feat the men's team haven't managed since 1994, making sure that Stina Blackstenius has written her name in the history books. Vivianne Miedema. Vivianne Miedema has already formed an illustrious career at the age of 22. By 17, she was already playing in the Bayern Munich side that went unbeaten in the Bundesliga to win their first title since 1976. Joining Arsenal in 2017, she fought off injury to score a record 22 league goals for Arsenal's first league title in 7 years. In 2017, Miedema was a crucial part of the Dutch Euros winning side, scoring in the semi and a brace in the final, giving her must-watch status for the 2019 World Cup. Holland got off to a tricky start in the tournament, but in their second game versus Cameroon, Miedema proved her quality and by the end of the group stage, she had broken the Netherlands' women's goal-scoring record. 3 goals in 5 games so far at the tournament, Miedema now has 60 goals from 77 appearances. After beating Sweden 1-0 to secure the Netherlands' first final in just their second ever Women's World Cup, the WSL 2018-19 top goalscorer now faces a huge task up against USA's Alyssa Naeher. Ada Hegerberg. Ada Hegerberg became a figure of success and by default protest when she was crowned the first female footballer to win the Ballon d'Or and simultaneously the victim of sexist behaviour. When her name was announced as the winner of the Golden Boot and she was asked to twerk by the host, it highlighted huge problems that still exist in the game for its female players. At 24 years old, Hegerberg has already been playing professional for almost a decade, having scored 259 goals in 253 club appearances. 4 Champions League wins under her belt. In 2015, she was the first woman to be named as Norwegian Footballer of the Year. However, the best player in the world has opted not to head to France for the World Cup, and in doing so started a global conversation of concern. She has said that the women's Norway team has not been taken seriously, and there was no culture for quality training or even improvement. Hegerberg claimed that I always feel that I have been a worse player when I've gone home from the national team selection, and it should not be so. Norway's male team have failed to qualify for the World Cup for the last 2 decades, yet the women's side, even without Hegerberg, drove to the quarter-finals. It should make the Norwegian Football Federation think how fair their treatment is and fix the problems before others are forced to follow in Hegerberg's footsteps. Marta. 2019 Women's World Cup has been the biggest in history, attracting huge crowds of spectators reveling in World Cup fever for a second summer in a row. However, it remains excruciatingly clear that the sport still needs support. No one has helped portray this better than Brazilian superstar Marta. Marta scored her 17th competition goal in Brazil's 1-0 win over Italy to put her above Germany's Miroslav Klose closer as the top scorer in World Cup history. Her 17 goals in 19 tournament appearances also makes her Brazil's leading scorer with 2 more than Ronaldo and 5 more than Pelé. Marta is potentially the best female player to ever play the game, and her battle to the top of so many leaderboards has not been an easy one. Women's soccer was illegal in Brazil until 1981, and by 2015, girls at school were still discouraged from playing, despite the game being a huge part of Brazilian culture for men. Marta has fought against prejudice to become a 6-time winner of the FIFA Player of the Year, and while she couldn't push Brazil through against France, she certainly left her mark on what is likely to be her final tournament. After the defeat, Marta used her platform to inspire the next generation to continue making the change she has started, stating that, "We are trying to represent women and show how women can play any type of role. All the teams here, we are all representing. Let me be clear, this is not only in sport, this is a struggle for equality across the board."
That's it. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure you hit the like button down below and tell us what you thought in the comment section. And why not check out the video on screen? I'm sure you guys will love it. As always guys, subscribe to the channel and we'll see you later.